Do you ever just say yes to trying something new before you have time to like overthink it? I love doing that, and that's why I'm starting this. It's not really a podcast and it's not a talk show. I just find interesting people. We go out and do something they love together, and we just see where the conversation goes. Welcome to Adam Goes There. Today, I'm talking to Tommy Trinh. He's this guy I met in the Toronto techno creative scene, and he's really good at mixing experimentation and fun into the projects he works on. Like last year, he ran this marathon dressed as a minion, and then he hosted this viral fried rice tournament. Now he's part of a group called New with Vin and Vince. They've hosted events like a demo night in a movie theater, and recently launched a studio space called New Stadium. Today, we're gonna do outdoor bouldering. It's something I've never done, but we'll see how it goes.
Nice try,
Okay.
nice try.
He might hit me up with a couple surprises.
This is unfiltered. Up until the marathon, I never watched a Despicable Me movie.
Are you serious?
While I hit him back with one of my own.
So I wanted to just present you with a little surprise.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that goes.
So yeah, let's go there.
For guys, it's a whirlwind. You know, life happens, nature happens.
It's
You-
nature.
Yeah, you roll with
Yeah.
it, and the seasons come, right? I've been really liking that like kind of analogy that like, yeah, like there will be seasons where you're blooming, you know, you're prospering, you're learning so much, you're applying yourself, everything's great, and then there will come a time where like, yo, you need to like kind of like let some of that energy go to make space for something new, you know. And then you have your fall and winter, and then spring blossoms again.
So are you going into a winter or are you going into a summer?
That's a good question. I think I'm going. I think I'm like lining up with like the Toronto seasons right now. I feel like I'm in a fall turning into winter.
Okay.
Yeah, trees can teach us a lot. This might sound like kind of weird to be honest, but trees can teach us a lot in the sense that like, yeah, you literally shed your leaves. You know, you shed everything that people think you're beautiful for, and you're like kind of dead for a season. But you're not actually dead, you know, you're just like waiting. You're creating space for when the environment is right, and you are provided the right nutrients and resources, like you just blossom again in spring, you know.
The world doesn't have seasons. Like, you're just constantly seeing everybody's summer, you know, and everyone's always boasting their
social
summer.
media is a lot of
Social
summer.
media,
Yeah.
the way that things are these days. So it's kind of like you feel really guilty, or you feel like you're doing it wrong if you're actually going through a cycle, you know, like understanding the kind of those hibernation. I have little burnout, like, I don't know if I'm framing it wrong, but I have my burnout phases.
For sure.
I have phases where it's just like being unproductive is the most productive I could be right now.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Like, you talked about how like bouldering and climbing has like this sort of like it's done a lot for you, I
Yeah.
think, right?
Bouldering is like I am able to enter a flow state.
Okay.
And I know that because like when I'm bouldering and I'm climbing and I'm in the gym, I literally lose track of time, and I lose track of like my body just doesn't feel tired when it should feel tired, if that makes sense. You're just going towards what feels right,
Yeah.
and then by the time you do realize that like you should hit pause or something, hours like have elapsed.
Wow. Do you have like other areas you get into flow state with, or is this kind of
Yeah.
your first interaction with the flow state?
When I'm working on things that I care about, like deeply, one good example would be like my events.
Okay.
Like when I'm hosting an event, I'm like deeply in a flow state, because it's just like, oh, what do I need to do right now to be a good host,
Yeah.
to take care of people? Yeah, just completely like adopting that mindset and abandoning everything else.
Well, dude, like, I mean, if there's one thing we can talk about that
Yeah.
we can connect on, is like, I used to like mainly just host events.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
If you don't notice anything going wrong, that's because you're like managing 1,000 things properly. You know?
probably, yeah.
Like, so it's like very intense. Like, do you actually find that are you able to enjoy the events?
Yeah.
Or like enjoy what you're doing, you know, in the process of like handling all that?
Yeah, to be honest, my answer to that, and like I'm like pretty firm in this answer, is that the idea of hosting is actually what's really fun to me.
What do you mean?
I mean that in the sense that like being able to provide a time and space for people to connect
Yeah.
and to participate in something that like I have had a hand in like creating, like that is like peak happiness to me. Or I grew up with a pretty big lack of like access to opportunity and other communities that I'm like participating in like creating now. So to be able to like have a hand in it and like creating it and like, you know, kind of actioning it into the world is really fulfilling for me. I'm having a lot of fun.
So it's like, when you say like you didn't have access to like the kind of communities that you're building now, what are those communities? Like, what are the ones you wish you had access to when you were younger?
Yeah, just this might sound really stupid, but just like proximity to people that are also curious,
Mm-hmm.
creative, high agency, or at least cognizant of agency.
Huh.
Um,
Cognizant of agency.
yeah.
As like that's very interesting, because I think about that sometimes, and like I've been just recently realizing like, oh, I'm getting into this scene of people who are like building companies, doing software, and they're all like, the one thing that they all do is they're all extremely high agency people.
Yeah.
And like someone explained high agency to me recently, where it's like, if you're in like a prison in some other country and you need to get out and you have one phone call, who do you call?
Yeah.
That's a high agency person in your
Probably.
life,
Most
right?
definitely, yeah.
And so like, you like the idea of like a lot of those people coming together in a way?
I think so. There's like magic when like there's magic in individual high agency people, and then there's even more magic when you group a bunch of high agency people together.
So what do like collective high agency gatherings look like to you? Like, what's the potential there?
People creating things, you know? People like bending and shaping reality to maybe not to their liking, but to like experiment, to like learn something, to put something out into the world, you know? Like even creating communities where people are just connected to other high agency folks. Like there's a lot of intangible side effects that happen from that.
I kind of want to take a seat up here. Are you chill with that?
I'm down, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna be super careful about this, like not falling over.
I think she's
I
pretty...
might put it on your side. If that's
Okay.
cool, yeah.
I think this is... Actually, makes for a perfect seat.
Wow, you just stole my couch, man.
I know. So I wanted to just
House.
present you with a little surprise.
Oh,
Actually, you may guess what it is. What's up, everyone? I am making my fried rice for my interview with Tommy tomorrow. We have kind of veggie ham. We've got some peas, soy sauce, onions, and obviously some day-old rice that I cooked last night. The ketchup. And I almost forgot, 4 eggs. Here we go. The Chen family ketchup fried rice. This is a recipe
Thank
from
you.
my
wow.
from my Taiwanese family.
This smells amazing.
Yeah, it's like something my dad used to make for me growing up. And it's like big in Taiwan. They love putting like ketchup on rice for some reason with eggs. Like ketchup,
It goes.
like, it's like omu rice. I don't know if you have,
Yeah.
that sort of vibe.
Well, ketchup and like omelets is like really good.
I got something to pop out.
No
There you
way,
go.
the silverware?
I also got sriracha and ketchup if you want any other flavorings, because it's not spicy right
I
now.
want to try the original, you know?
I also, because I was recording myself make it got slightly burned, so
That's okay.
that's not my mom's fault. It's
so-
not my family's recipe.
It's so cold out that I actually think I'll enjoy it if it was burnt. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Cheers, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes.
Yeah, it's like putting ketchup in craft dinner, right? Like
Mm.
like ketchup's a pretty cool ingredient sometimes. I came to your tournament, and you had like a fried rice tournament with like 10 competitors and stuff.
Yeah, I had a fried rice tournament.
This was like my little contribution to that.
Yeah.
You're talking about events that you do.
Right.
Well, yeah, like what the hell is that? What's like a fried rice? like,
That's a good question.
you know, it's like,
That's a
where
really
does that
good
come
question.
from? Like, even, you know, like I read your whole like how it happened,
Yeah.
but I just like, for you, like, where does it come from?
Yo, this is so good.
Yo, thanks, man.
Like,
My mom and
I
dad
didn't know
will
I
be very
I didn't
happy.
know I needed this until you like gave it to me with a silver spoon. Sorry, your question. How did the fried rice tournament come to happen?
Yeah, not like logistically, like I mean, like, what part of you does that come from?
Oh, I think I get what you're asking. Like, yeah, like what inside of me or like what about me makes me want to pursue silly ideas like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think first of all, it's recognizing like the importance of like having fun and doubling down on the bit, being like silly maxing, you know, just like doing things for the sake of it, doing things to spark joy. All of these like concepts they're not novel concepts, but they're things that like I feel like are worth practicing and also illuminating to other people that they're worth practicing. So I think it's like that part of me that is
Why are they
like,
worth practicing?
I think they're worth practicing because like if you're not having fun in like your day-to-day life, or if you're just not having fun at all, I think that's kind of sad. If we think in terms of like probability, I can say with 100% like chance that it is probably good that humans have fun. Right?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
take the inverse of that statement. Would you say that it is 100% like probably bad that humans have fun?
I guess, like, if you're at war or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're probably
sure.
right.
Yeah, there's like
You're
war.
right.
There's like a lot of
Fun
bad.
is like, but then I think you can say that about most things. Like, there's also a probability that like you need to have no fun. You need to have unhappiness. You need to have pain. Like, all these things create the other thing too, right?
For sure. Contrast.
So I guess maybe my question is like, does this come from a place of where there was a lack of fun?
Yeah.
Is it a balancing? Is there some aspect of that there?
Yeah, probably. I think I grew up in an environment where, you know, fun wasn't always like the underlying tone in things that I did. Maybe it was a more serious environment where like other things had to be kind of considered. Kind of like what you're saying right now, that like it's important to consider the non-fun things, obviously.
What were the non-fun things?
Non-fun things are just like, you know, the environment that you grow up in as a child, you know, your relationship to your parents, your financial circumstances, like the reality of it all, you know, like what opportunities you have access to, what schools you go to, you know, who are your peers, what are you surrounded by, do you go home and do you have to worry about like food on the table, paying rent, do you have an electricity bill paid?
So that's a lot of stuff you had to like think about, like, while you were like in grade school.
Yeah, something like that. And I try not to, I don't want to make it about myself, but I think a lot about like how other people don't have the same privileges like that we do to like today, you know, that these are worries that people are having. So I think that's even more reason why like fun is like super important.
I'm actually curious about that because like I grew up having food on the table, you know, pretty stable life and everything. And it kind of, to me, gave me so much weird guilt that I ended up going to school for international development so I could save the world. Do everything I
That's
could
awesome.
to alleviate poverty. Like, but it was just this huge like sense of like, I need to give back because I've gotten a lot and like I don't deserve it. I also grew up in Scarborough where like I had a lot of friends who had families that weren't, you know, were struggling a bit, and like I saw the impacts on them. And so I was like, what makes me deserve this? Like, I feel like it is my duty, right? But then so my way of like adapting to that was like, okay, I'm gonna go figure out what are the actual global problems out there. How do I understand them so I can fix them?
Right.
That was like my journey, basically, like when I was in school. But the reason I bring that up is like with you, your way to tackle this is creating communities of fun, and that's like so different. But I'm sure like actually probably smarter in some ways. Like I don't know, like what do you think moved you to that direction instead of like, I mean, I know you have been like raising money, like you did the Minion run, we can like talk about that later, but like, yeah, what is it about the fun, you know?
I think it's like my skill set. And what I get what you're trying to ask there. Basically, like, how do you find your role in like solving these problems that are like very universal? And to that I say that like lean into what feels right, what interests you, what's fun for you personally. And I think you'll like kind of find naturally like what it is, what your role is, you know, whether that's like literally going into policy and like literally like redefining society in like a policy, or like a just a more refined, structured manner. I just found out that like my strengths and my skill set and the tools that I have in my toolbox were better suited for running minion marathons and hosting fried rice tournaments.
That's so funny. I mean, first of all, that's amazing. Like, that level of intuition. It took me over 10 years to start itching at what my actual gifts are versus what I think I should do to make things better. So that's like a lot of like strong intuitive sense to like lean into and understand those things and like grow them as your strengths. So like, I'm just like, I don't know, that's fucking cool, man. And like, that's really cool, man.
I think you're cool, man. Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm working on it.
We all are, right? We all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Is there a next mountain for you?
There always is. There always is a next mountain. Because I like, sorry, this is going to sound mad corny, but like, yeah, I think you need to strive to like keep climbing mountains because that like indicates growth.
Mm-hmm.
If you like stay at the top of a mountain, and you kind of just plateau. So yeah, there is a next mountain. I'm like currently in the process of like defining what that mountain is. I don't think it's another fried rice tournament to be explicit.
What will you take from that, you think, from forward though?
From the fried rice tournament?
Yeah.
I learned a lot just going through the process of like hosting a fried rice tournament, you know?
I can't help but notice but that it was a tournament.
Yeah.
It was a competition.
Yeah, it had tournament in the name.
Is it like, is that something that like you think will stay as a core part of what you are, what you do in fun?
Competitive environments?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. For what it's worth, I wouldn't latch onto the idea of either. I wouldn't latch onto the concept of a fried rice tournament. I would think of it as like, hey, this is like a project that was shipped, and I'm thinking about future projects. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to culinary or competitive, or even like the venue or anything that like
event.
Anything relating to the event.
Like, would it even
output.
be an event?
It might not even be an event.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't think of it like linearly like that, just because like you learn so much from producing things like that, right? And you can take those learnings and you can apply it cross-disciplinary. You know,
Yeah.
take what you learn from hosting an event, apply that to making music. Take what you learn from making music, apply that to creating a live art exhibit. Take what you learn from creating a live art exhibit to, you know,
Dude, you're speaking my language,
urban
man.
planning, urban design, right? It doesn't
I totally get it.
It doesn't actually matter that it was a fried rice tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it was the friends you made along the way.
It was always the friends we made along the way, and that's why like I always just get down to the essence to, yo, it's just about having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck.
Respect. Yeah.
This really like the shape and everything is really making me think of like the images of you in the Minion runs.
A Toronto man set out to run from Polson Pier to Sunnyside Boardwalk in a Minion suit this week.
Yeah, the suit's gone the distance. Yeah. It's something about me and like being in oversized costumes / gear. It's a trend I'm noticing.
Yeah, so like so I'll be completely honest, I've never seen Despicable Me, I've never seen any Minion stuff.
Yo,
But I know.
to be honest with you, me either.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna be real with you. This is unfiltered. I've never watched a
Big
Despicable.
reveal.
Up until the marathon, I never watched a Despicable Me movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So like, okay, then it's clearly not about like the theme of the movie. So what was the?
Never was.
What was
man.
the Minion? Yeah, what is it? Yeah.
The CRA accidentally dropped this tweet.
Yeah.
Like 1 week into my fundraiser, they basically like a social media intern like went crazy,
Yeah.
and they just tweeted like, it was like they wrote in Minion, so it was like bello banana ha ha ha, and then
That's awesome.
they kept
that's
that
fun.
tweet up. They kept that tweet up for 30 minutes.
Okay.
But in that 30 minutes, like the internet saw it already. It was like way too funny.
Too late.
It was way too funny. Everybody caught wind of it. And then somebody sent it to me while it was still up. And then I just like I had an aha moment. I was like, oh, I could ride off of this humorous momentum to like aid my fundraiser. So then I quote retweeted it and said, "Bello Banana, donate to my fundraiser."
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that slowly evolved into, like, what's like, I guess it just made, like, with your fun-based trajectory thinking,
Exactly.
the obvious linear result is running a full marathon to raise money
Obviously.
in the minion costume.
Yeah. How could you not? How could you land on
It's like,
any other
how could you
conclusion?
not?
Yeah.
I guess for you, right?
Yeah. I tweeted out Bello Banana, and the next thing I was running a marathon as a
That
minion.
is an absurd logical conclusion, yet that still makes absolute sense right now in the context of
Yeah. Think about it.
understanding.
What else was I supposed to do?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. It was really fun. I like minions more now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't like them before?
I think I was very neutral about them before.
They're kind of gimmicky.
I was indifferent. I didn't have an opinion.
Yeah.
It wasn't my kind of movie. I'm a
Okay.
Ratatouille guy.
Oh my gosh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. It's-
I think Ratatouille is like one of the greatest movies of all time.
You know what? Maybe we planted a seed on something.
Something, yeah. Now we just go through the natural course.
Yeah, let's see what. I already know what it is. I can't tell you though.
It's
I
gonna,
see it
it's
now.
gonna be me. It's gonna be me under a hat on top of your head. Tamatui, bro. Tamatui.
Yo.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're cutting that part. Yeah.
That's crazy.
See, it's having fun, man. It's just
Yeah,
like
man.
one idea leads to another. You ride energy.
There's like a bang in V0 like 50 feet that way.
Bang in
Oh, okay.
V0.
Yeah.
Where's the V0?
It's right back up this way actually.
We passed
okay.
it.
Yeah. Or
Sick.
like you guys walk like maybe like 25 feet to like the right of it. Just about. I don't know.
You all good with that?
Is that cool?
Okay. I actually wanted to ask
Yeah.
about. I've been enjoying reading your journals on your site.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
And
it.
actually, it's like probably like the most helpful thing one could ever get interviewing somebody. And something that stuck out for me was that you found your voice on X.
Yeah.
Like, that's so interesting because I find X so stifling
Yeah.
and very
Well,
painful and
do you
stressful.
mind
yeah.
if I ask why do you find it stifling?
I think it's just because of the relationship I have with social media,
Right.
the effects it's had on journalism,
Yeah.
the way it kind of shapes who you need to be to succeed in some ways.
Right.
And the whole idea of virality, like, I don't know, I just didn't grow up with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's certain personalities that like really do well on it that
Right.
are just not my kind of personality, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is my personality.
What do you
know?
think?
Like,
What do you think is the personality that does well?
well, there's a bit of like shit posting, which does super well, and then there's like super sharp, witty, quick people, and I don't know, my like super quick wittiness comes in like moment to moment interactions with people, not like out of my head reading a tweet, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. That makes sense.
But tell me about like, one thing I can understand is like finding your voice. So
Yeah.
that's something I learned to do. Had a very different path from you.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get like, what was it like finding your voice on X? Like, how did that? What was it not to have it and then find X and then find your voice?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it's actually like a voice.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, when you start sharing things on social media and you start just putting things out into the void and people start resonating with that and hitting you back, like coming out of the void, if you will, then you realize like, oh, these are things like worth sharing. And there's like, not even like, I don't want to say the word like audience, but it's just like, hey, other people have probably navigated similar things or had similar feelings to you. What I put on social media is like very, I would argue, or I would say that it feels very authentic.
Okay.
It's kind of just like things that I'm interested in, things that I find cool. I'm kind of having fun. I'm like shit posting like a lot of the time.
But I feel like you don't shit post like inflammatorially. Or like,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw what you did when you went to New York and shit.
Yeah. I was like,
that some real.
it's like shit, it's like
I'm
shit.
moving here now. Everyone's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like shit posting to like kind of like engagement farm, but then also
Yeah.
like there's a little bit of like lesson, I guess. Sometimes there's no lesson, I'll be honest. Sometimes just have fun.
Yeah.
But like the whole New York thing was that like it was kind of cool to be like, yeah, I'm moving to New York, and like to see how many people like kind of get riled up about that.
Hmm.
You know, and then to the next day, you saw what I did then, right? The next day, I started shit posting, saying that I hate New York
Yeah.
and I love Toronto again, and to see how many people got riled up about that.
What did you learn from that experience?
I learned that it is reality is very malleable.
What do you mean?
In the sense that like yeah, one day I can tweet that I love New York and I'm gonna move here, and like all of a sudden like it almost feels like a cultural shift. People are like iMessaging me. People are like texting my sister, saying like, "Yo, wait, is Tommy actually moving? That's so messed up. That's so weird. Like, what's
How
happening?"
could he betray?
Exactly. So some stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
yeah.
the next day you can be like, "Yo, I hate New York. This place is so loud."
Did you get like angry stuff from that?
100%. You get angry stuff from Toronto people. You get angry stuff from New York people.
Was it like actually like, oh shit, I screwed up, or was it like, ha, just laughs?
Nah, it's just laughs because I.
Yo, because I get nervous about like pissing people off, right? Like that's like you gotta have a bit of that trickster, I think, to
Well, I think
to run in the way that way. I think. You know?
I would question like what are you putting out that's worth pissing people off over, you know?
Hmm.
And I don't think me saying I'm moving to New York is like genuine
That's
basis.
true. That's
Genuine
not-
basis for anyone to be pissed off.
Yeah, but they feel betrayed. You know, even I was like, you know, I'll be honest. When I saw you post that, I was like, my heart was like, I'm like, before I realized it was a shit post, I was like, my heart deflated like 10%. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because you were probably thinking, oh wait, I have this podcast scheduled with him next week. How is he in New York?
Yeah.
He didn't even tell me that he moved.
There was that.
What
there
the
was
fuck
that.
is wrong with this guy?
But it's also you're like kind of part of this movement in Toronto. Like you're part of this. I mean, whether it's explicit for you or not or whatever, I think people see that you are part of like Toronto optimism, and you're part of Toronto love and Toronto tech and love and Toronto. I mean, let me know if I can be incorrect, but like, yeah, am I incorrect?
I can see how people see that, but I don't think it has as much weight as they put on it actually.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, what I'm trying to illuminate through everything that I do and like the pieces that I write and the projects that I do is that no matter where you come from or what you've done, it doesn't determine what you are capable of and like what you can do. So you could be the next person that is the symbol of like Toronto optimism starting tomorrow if you just like start acting on it if you really wanted to. My mission is or something that I'm like just genuinely curious about is like my own self-actualization, which is why I say a lot of the stuff I do is selfish.
You know, I heard something. I remember I was looking through like this site where you post a lot of your things, your influences or thoughts.
Yeah.
Something was like, what makes a place alive, or feel
Yeah.
alive or dead,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
For some reason, it made me think of that quote just now. Like, is your Toronto love just a way of like finding a love or aliveness in like Toronto in a way, or like I don't know.
Yeah. It's about me trying to exercise and figure out what I'm good at, what I like doing, who do I want to be surrounded by, and you know the extent of my capabilities. You know,
Speaking of extensive capabilities.
Oh, I hit it left hand.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Nice try.
Shit. Okay.
Nice try.
Thanks.
Yeah, dude, outdoors is like a different beast in comparison.
Yeah, this is wild.
I just touched it, man, and it's like my hands are already.
What do you mean
like, so
sandbag?
raw.
It's the grading's a bit stiff.
All right, this might be the go.
Plus, everything's like a lot more polished than it used to be.
You should. You want to just call beta for me, Jay?
Here, swap feet. Swap feet sync, like flag out left with your right foot, or out right with your right foot, and then you see like the ledge kind of sink down into your arm,
Oh, really?
or your right arm.
What I feel like.
Or you can heel hook like where the jug is, that your left hand's on.
Oh, I get what you're saying. The texture on them is just crazy, but I think this is doable. Thanks for bringing us to this
I
one.
think it's definitely doable. I don't know what this thing's called. It's got to be a V0.
It's pretty linear.
Yeah. I was grabbing. You're like side pulling on this.
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
I'm like. Yeah, this might be like an easier campus because your hips are in like a way better spot. Let's actually cut. Yeah, right there. Matching. And the ledge up to your right is just a jug. Yeah, nice, dude.
Oh.
Come on. I think it's a little better, a little farther to your right.
Yo, this shit's so slippery.
Here, bro, you got it. You chilling? It's like all jugs.
All right.
Let's go.
We did it, guys. We did it.
Look where the chalk is. There's also
No, he's actually doing it.
a bit more.
Oh. Ah. That's crazy.
Find the chalk today.
Yes, sir. Damn. That's sick. Thanks, Jack. Oh,
Holy shit, dude.
that's fun.
You fucking did that. All right.
Good shit. Good
Good
shit.
shit. Thanks, dude. How'd it feel going over the hill, man?
It felt
Cover
really
your
good.
next mountain.
I felt really good. Thanks for, I really appreciate you taking me here. Had a lot of fun. This was cool.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, you know, I came here, we came here?
Yeah, I think, I think we came here together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you taking me along.
So, like, I know you don't know what's next, but what would you want to share if you were to share anything?
You can just do things.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Is your call to action to have fun and do things?
100%. 1,000
So,
times over.
Tag and follow
Just
no
go,
one
Just go do things.
and just do things.
Just go do things.
And have fun doing
And
it.
have fun doing it. Yeah.
And hopefully you're hosting it.
Yeah.
And they can have fun, or they should host their own. Or is it more they should go find what fun is for them?
Yeah. 100%.
Find their power.
Yeah.
And if it's fun, do fun. If it's something else, do the something else. All right, man.
Said it better than I ever could.
Love, dude.
Appreciate you, man. Love.